The internet wasn't ready for this. Just when fans thought the dust had settled around Lil Durk's ongoing legal chaos, a shocking twist shook the entire hip-hop world to its core. Out of nowhere, a new courtroom video leaked, one that shows more than words, more than speculation. It shows movement, voices, and most importantly, a key moment Durk's team had tried to keep sealed. The footage spread like wildfire. Twitter blew up. Fan pages flooded with theories. And the hashtag #DURK footage leak was trending within the hour. But the real heat came not from the leak itself, but from how Durk's team responded. And let's just say, they didn't hold back. What was on the footage? Why did Durk's legal team break their silence after weeks of staying quiet? And how did this one video manage to pull the entire case back into the spotlight just when everyone thought it had died down? Sources close to the case say the footage was never meant to be seen. But now that it's out, there's no going back. Friendships are unraveling. Trust is shattered. And for Lil Durk, this might be the moment that changes everything. Stay tuned. This is about to get explosive. The video didn't leak from a fan page or some random Reddit thread. It came from deep inside. Someone with access. Someone with a purpose. And when it hit the blogs, it didn't just trend, it exploded. The footage was grainy at first. Courtroom security cam timestamped from just a few weeks ago. It showed Lil Durk seated quietly at a defense table, his face unreadable. Next to him, his lead attorney whispered something into his ear. And then, a voice was heard, clear, confident, from the witness stand. A man in a gray hoodie and jeans stood up, pointed across the room, and said, "I saw him there. I know what I saw." Those words lit the internet on fire. Fans had been debating for months whether Durk had any connection to the murder claims swirling around his name. His team had always maintained silence. His lawyers issued statements like "there's no evidence," linking him, and "we're confident the truth will prevail." But this video, this was something different. It didn't show guilt. It didn't show innocence, but it showed doubt. Not in a high-stakes courtroom drama. That's enough to crack the ground wide open. Within minutes of the leak, social media was in meltdown mode. Influencers, fans, even rival artists began reacting. One post read, "If that witness ain't lying, Durk is cooked." Another said, "This don't even look real. This gotta be planted." The split was instant. Half the internet rushed to defend Durk, calling the footage a distraction. The other half demanded answers. But what no one knew yet was how this video got out in the first place. And who exactly was behind it? Sources close to the case began whispering about a leak. From inside the legal system, a junior clerk, a corrupted flash drive, a misplaced folder. No one could say for sure, but the timing was suspicious. Just days before the next scheduled hearing, Durk's team had filed a motion to suppress new testimony. And then, boom-tha. Footage surfaces, people started pointing fingers. And the name that kept popping up, Rico Banks. For those not in the loop, Rico was a former associate. A guy who used to run in Durk's circle years ago, back when everything was loud, fast, and dangerous. They were close. Not just crew but family by loyalty. That was until everything went sideways during a business deal gone bad. Rumors swirled that Rico felt cut out, left behind, discarded. He went quiet for years. No interviews, no posts. And now, suddenly, he's back just as the biggest case of Durk's life is heating up. A blog posted a blurry screenshot of what they claimed was a DM from Rico to a popular hip-hop news page. The message said, "Truth always finds the surface. This video is just the beginning." No one could verify if the message was real, but fans weren't waiting. They ran with it, and then came the first statement, DURK. single quotes S team, who had stayed. Radio silence since the leak, finally responded through his lawyer. The message was short but strong. This footage was taken out of context. We're aware of the source and we are pursuing legal action. My client maintains his innocence. The internet didn't calm down. If anything, it only fed the fire. Within the next 24 hours, 2 more pieces of footage leaked, one showing the hallway outside the courtroom where 2 unidentified men exchanged something in a manila envelope. The other showed the same witness who spoke in court stepping into a black SUV immediately after giving his statement. No badge, no escort, no media. Just gone. Fans started digging. Theories formed. Was the witness paid off? Was he being protected? Or was he part of something bigger, something orchestrated to bring Durk down from the inside? On Twitter, fans called it a setup. #FreeDurk began trending again. Rappers like Meek Mill and 21 Savage posted vague but pointed messages of support. With Meek writing, "Real ones get tested the hardest. Stand tall, bro." 21 Savage posted a broken scale emoji, implying injustice. But not everyone was standing with Durk. A rival rapper, known for previous beef with Durk's crew, posted a now-deleted tweet that read, "Boy been living off fear and clout. Now the street gone talk back." Screenshots of the post circulated everywhere. Fans took it as confirmation that others in the industry were ready to flip on Durk or, worse, expose more. Meanwhile, in Chicago, Durk's family kept quiet. His mother was seen leaving a private residence, refusing to comment when approached by media. His brothers stayed off social media. His closest friends either went ghost or posted throwback photos with cryptic captions like "Stand firm and loyalty ain't always loud." But the silence only added to the pressure. Behind the scenes, the team was scrambling. Lawyers were demanding takedowns. Reps were trying to get ahead of the narrative. But the footage was everywhere now. It had already been mirrored to 100 platforms, dissected by vloggers, used in fan theories, slowed down frame by frame by online sleuths. And just when it seemed like things couldn't get worse, they did. Another witness came forward. This time, it wasn't a stranger. It wasn't someone anonymous. It was a former employee of Durk's personal security team. His name was omitted in early reports, but the statement was loud and clear. He claimed that certain movements made the night of the incident didn't match the story being told publicly. He didn't accuse Durk directly, but the implication was heavy. When asked why he was coming forward now, the man said simply, "Because I couldn't live with the weight anymore." The interview aired on an underground news channel that usually covered conspiracy theories and leaked police scanner audio. But this time, their scoop felt too real to ignore. Once again, the fan base fractured. Some said it was all lies, a hit job. Others said the truth was finally surfacing, and people needed to stop defending someone just because they liked his music. The most loyal fans doubled down. They flooded social media with clips of Durk's old interviews, music with emotional lyrics, and moments where he showed vulnerability. One user wrote, "He's been fighting demons his whole life. This is just another battle." But others weren't so sure anymore. The weight of the footage, the witness statements, and the timing so close to the court hearing had created something even Durk's team couldn't spin away easily. The next move had to come directly from him. And just as the pressure mounted to an unbearable level, Durk broke his silence. A single post, a black screen, white text. "They gone tell it how they want. I'll tell it how it happened." When Lil Durk finally spoke, the entire culture paused. The black screen with the simple message, "They gone tell it how they want. I'll tell it how it happened," was reposted across thousands of accounts. The tone wasn't defensive. It was something else, something colder, more deliberate. It wasn't a denial. It was a warning. Less than 12 hours later, Durk went live. No promo, no announcements, just his face, calm but clearly exhausted, streaming, straight from what looked like a studio apartment. The blinds were shut. The light was dim, and he spoke with no music, no edits. No filter. "I've been quiet because I thought the truth didn't need to be explained," he said. "I thought real. Always came out in the end. But what I'm seeing now, this ain't the end. It's the beginning of something sick." His voice dropped lower. "They trying to break me with smoke." Footage with no sound. Statements from dudes who ain't been around me in years. People who fold when it gets hot, but swear they was loyal when the money was flowing. Fans were glued to the screen. The comment section exploded. Durk continued, "This ain't no game. Lost real ones to this. I sat at funerals while people played dress up and took pictures outside. Now they want to talk like they knew what went down. Like they know what I did or didn't do." Then, for the first time, he directly addressed the leaked video. "That footage, you see a man talking. You don't know who he is. You don't know what he's been promised. You don't know if he even real. You think that's evidence? That's a show, and you all tuned in." At that moment, fans flooded Twitter. The narrative was shifting again. Might be fighting demons, but he ain't folding. Others said why he sound like he's been carrying this for years. He ended the live with one final sentence. "You can lie for views, but you can't fake truth forever." And just like that, he logged off. The video was clipped, reposted, and analyzed by every gossip channel within minutes. His calm tone, his refusal to flinch, was being called one of the rawest responses in rap beef history. But the internet wasn't done, because just as the live ended, another name entered the mix. Someone who had been silent for months. Someone who used to be seen in every Durk backstage clip, every behind-the-scenes vlog, and every security shot. During tours, his name was Trig, Durk's former driver and personal runner. Trig had been let go quietly 6 months ago, under mysterious circumstances. No beef, no statement, just gone. And now he was back with a podcast interview that dropped like a brick in a glass house. In the interview, Trig claimed he'd seen everything the night of the alleged incident. The murder in question happened late at night, outside a warehouse club where Durk's crew was doing a pop-up appearance. It wasn't publicized, it wasn't filmed. And according to Trig, things went sideways fast. "I ain't saying he pulled no trigger," Trig said, "but he was there. And when S** popped off, he didn't leave like they claimed. He stayed. And that part right there, that's what changes everything." He continued, "There was a reason the security footage from that club disappeared. A reason only one camera was found. And I ain't saying more because I ain't trying to end up somewhere quiet. But they know. Durk knows. And so do the feds." The host of the podcast looked stunned. "So you're saying there's more video?" Trig nodded. "A lot more, stuff the public ain't seen. Stuff even Durk's team probably hopes never comes out." Fans were stunned. The leak, the witness, now this. But even more chilling was what came next. Another clip began circulating, supposedly. Leaked from inside a group chat of Durk's legal team. In it, one member wrote, "We need to contain this. Trig can't be trusted. Prepare to file injunctions." No one could verify the source, but the screen recordings looked real, and fans believed it. The pressure mounted again. Everyone wanted to know if Trig was telling the truth, what was being hidden, and who else was involved. Then something strange happened. A second video from the courtroom surfaced. Not the same footage as before, but another angle. This one had a clearer view of the man giving testimony. And suddenly, fans recognized the voice. It was Tone, a former affiliate from a rival. Crew Durk had beef with back in 2018. Their fallout was public, messy, and reportedly never resolved. Tone had been quiet for years until now. And now he was, claiming Durk was present at the scene. Fans started calling the whole thing a setup. Tone never liked Durk. One post read, "Now he's trying to close the casket." Others said Tone had every reason to lie, especially if it meant payback. But still, the fact that he was on the stand in court had to mean something, right? Questions were piling up. Did Durk's team know about this witness beforehand? Why hadn't they pushed harder to block him from testifying? And most of all, this all building toward a takedown. Behind the scenes, tensions were boiling. Insiders claimed Durk's team was split in half. Some wanted him to take a plea deal to avoid further public exposure. Others said, never fold, especially with weak evidence. One source said Durk himself was adamant, no plea, no guilt. But then came the most shocking move of all. Tone, the supposed witness, posted a selfie, not of himself, but of a letter. The letter, signed with legal markings, appeared to show that he'd been paid a protection advance by a private security firm connected to a known industry manager, someone loosely tied to a rival rapper. The implication? He wasn't just testifying for justice, he was being handled. Fans lost their minds. The hashtag setup confirmed began trending. New conspiracy theories erupted. Vloggers did deep dives, showing how this same firm had once been connected to another high-profile rap beef. One even suggested the entire thing was orchestrated to remove Durk from the game and make space for others in the industry to rise. But whether it was true or not, the damage was done. The courtroom battle wasn't just about one night anymore. It was about loyalty, betrayal, industry, politics, and the future of one of hip-hop's most influential voices. And as the next court date approached, the list of people willing to speak just kept getting longer. Because someone else was coming forward next. Someone with even more to lose. When she posted the first slide, nobody expected her to be the next voice in the story. India Royale, known to fans not just as Lil Durk's ex, but as someone who had shared years of emotional highs and public breakups with him, had kept her distance from all legal drama. She never commented on the cases, never liked shady posts, never fed the chaos until now. The slide she posted wasn't a photo of herself. It was a screenshot of a text conversation. The name blurred, the content shocking. They're going after him harder now. He has no clue who really pulled that trigger. He just happened to be there. This isn't justice's leverage. The internet froze. What did this mean? Who was texting her? Was she implying that someone behind the scenes knew Durk wasn't involved directly, but still wanted to see him fall? Within hours, she deleted the story, but not before it was reposted thousands of times. Blogs ran with it. Fans filled her DMs and comments, begging her to clarify. So she did. India went live. Nothing dramatic, just a hoodie, her hair in a bun. No filter. And she spoke slowly, carefully. "I wasn't gonna say anything," she said. "But I see what's being done, and it's wrong." She paused, trying to hold her composure. "I know him. I know how he moves. We haven't always been perfect, but what I do know is he didn't plan that night. He didn't pull anything. He didn't even know the full story until the next day. And now they're trying to throw him under for something built on bitterness." And lies. Emotions ran high in the chat. Fans flooded the stream with messages of support. He was protecting the wrong people, she added. And now they're turning it back on him. "I warned him. I told him some of the people around him weren't solid, but he always believed in loyalty, even when it was killing him." Then, she She said the words that had everyone shaking. Someone close to him gave up footage. That's how the leak started. It didn't come from the court, it came from the inside. Fans were shocked. Was she confirming what others had been hinting at? That someone within Durk's own camp had betrayed him. She didn't name names. She didn't have to. Immediately after the live ended, Twitter erupted. Theories flew. Was it Trig? Was it another old affiliate? Maybe even someone from the label. And then almost a perfectly another post surfaced. A blog leaked messages, allegedly from a burner account, tied to a former tour manager of Durk's. In the messages, the person bragged about having held on to that clip for months and said, "I told them if they didn't pay me, I'd make sure it dropped at the worst possible time." The screenshots were damning. And while the source wasn't fully verified, fans didn't care. The betrayal felt real now. One fan tweeted, "This whole thing's been an ambush from the inside out." Another said, "They don't want to jail him. They want to ruin him." While fans rallied behind Durk, his legal team was working overtime. Sources said they had filed emergency motions to suppress any new illegally obtained footage, but the court wasn't budging. The judge had ruled that the material was now public domain due to the leak, and any arguments would be handled during trial. As the court date neared, the pressure mounted. Interviews with anonymous jurors began appearing. One said, "The public. Part of this case is making it impossible to stay neutral. It's everywhere. Even my family's talking about it." Even worse, a memo surfaced from a federal oversight board, urging the judge to consider whether Durk's case needed to move. Jurisdictions. Too much heat. Too much bias. But there was one final card still waiting to be played. A new witness. This one was listed only as WS7 in court documents. No name, no image. But what was leaked was the statement. W27 claimed that the night of the murder, a car pulled up behind the warehouse club and stayed idling with headlights off. The shooter got out, ran inside, and never spoke to Durk, not once. He was there, the statement read, but he wasn't part of the plan. He looked confused, like he didn't expect anything to happen. The statement could have cleared Durk, but there was one problem. The footage to back it up was missing. W-7's lawyer claimed the file had been corrupted or erased during transfer. Others said it was never recorded at all. The conspiracy theory machine went into overdrive. Fans and bloggers started putting the puzzle together. Too many pieces missing. Too many stories contradicting. And yet, through all this, Durk remained quiet. No new posts, no lives, just silence. Until his mother posted a photo, an old one. Durk as a child, standing next to his late brother. Her caption, "He's always been strong. But even strong hearts break." The post brought thousands to tears. This wasn't just a rapper fighting for his name. This was a family trying to keep their son from being swallowed by a system and a street game that never showed mercy. And with one court date left before the final trial hearing, everyone held their breath because the last leak was coming. Someone inside the courtroom. Someone who saw something on paper that could flip the case completely. And once it surfaced, it would either destroy Durk's defense or set him free. The leak hit just hours before the final pre-trial hearing. No build-up, no teasers, just a low-quality scan of a document shared by an anonymous account named Truth. The image showed part of a sealed affidavit and what was legible left fans gasping for air. In bold print, the affidavit read, "Surveillance footage suggests the defendant attempted to de-escalate the conflict moments before the shooting occurred." Beneath it was a timestamp and a short summary from an unnamed officer who had reviewed unreleased body cam clips. According to the document, Durk was seen holding someone back just seconds before shots were fired. The post included a caption, "The clip exists. They've been hiding it." Within minutes, it spread like wildfire. This wasn't hearsay. This wasn't a podcast rumor. This was a written legal statement implying Durk had tried to stop the violence, not escalate it. Fans erupted. They tried to bury this, free him now. They framed him off a narrative, but not everyone was convinced. Skeptics pointed out that the footage still hadn't surfaced. Others questioned the motive behind the leak. Was someone in the system finally trying to help? Or was this another calculated move timed to influence the court of public opinion? Either way, the courtroom was electric the next morning. Press flooded the building. Supporters stood outside with signs. Even rival artists stayed silent. This moment was too fragile, too explosive for petty commentary. Inside, Lil Durk walked in surrounded by his team. Suit on, head high. No chains, no smiles. The judge entered and the room fell silent. Then came the voice of the prosecution. Your Honor, due to the recent unauthorized leak of protected documents, we are requesting an emergency motion to delay trial proceedings until we can verify the authenticity of the material. Durk's attorney stood up calmly. Your Honor, the document is real, and the footage referenced in it has been requested multiple times with no response. We believe this supports our position that key evidence is being deliberately withheld. Gasps filled the room. The judge looked over the papers, clearly frustrated by the chaos unfolding around the case. I will be ordering an internal review, he said, but for now, trial proceeds. And then came the bombshell. The defense called an unexpected witness to the stand. Someone no one had on their radar. It was Kells, a quiet crew member from Durk's early career, barely seen on social media, but always around. He walked up, head down, hands shaking slightly. When he raised his right hand to be sworn in, you could hear a pin drop. Tell us what you saw, the attorney asked. Kelz cleared his throat. I was inside, just to the left of the booth. And what happened? There was an argument. Loud, but Durk wasn't involved. He was telling folks to chill, saying we didn't need this heat. And after the shots, Kells looked directly at Durk. He froze, like the rest of us. And then he helped one of the dudes who got hit. We got out. And later, I realized the story being told didn't match what happened. The courtroom buzzed. The jury leaned in. The prosecution objected, but the judge let the testimony stand outside. Fans were losing their minds. The narrative had flipped yet again. News channels began replaying the leaked affidavit alongside screenshots of Kells testifying. Blogs ran headlines like, "Did Lil Durk try to stop the shooting?" And the truth they didn't want us to see. But with every answer came more questions. Why wasn't this footage included in the original case file? Why did so many witnesses stay silent for so long? And perhaps most chilling, why were people willing to lie under oath to frame Durk? Rumors started flying. Some said the rival crew had been feeding prosecutors false statements in exchange for immunity on unrelated charges. Others believed it was bigger than street beef, suggesting music industry politics were in play. A viral thread pointed out that artists under certain labels seemed to mysteriously rise, right when others were facing jail time or scandal. The post ended with, "They don't need to kill you anymore, just discredit you." But the real heat came when someone leaked a conversation between the original witness Stone and a mysterious unknown voice. "Just say you saw him," the voice said. "No one will question it. You'll be protected." Tone replied, "I don't want to lie on, dude." It's not lying, it's survival. Fans were horrified. If this clip was legit, it meant Tone was pressured or coerced into testifying, and possibly not by the law. Pressure mounted on prosecutors. Calls for a mistrial began to trend, and as the final courtroom appearance approached, the internet waited. Breathless, But before anyone could react, Durk made one last move. He dropped a freestyle. No warning, just audio. No beat, just raw words recorded in one take. In it, he rapped, "They gave the devil my name, but God see my heart, stood on silence for months. Now I'm tearing lies apart. They caught a witness, paid M, told M. Point at me fast, but the streets know the truth and the cameras don't lie back." The track hit 1 million streams in hours. Fans called it the testimony before the testimony. Celebrities reposted it. Even artists who never previously showed support shared the clip. One wrote, "This ain't music. This is survival." And with the court preparing to deliver its next judgment, the atmosphere shifted. This wasn't just about guilt or innocence anymore. It was about power, betrayal, and a fight to be seen. For the truth not, the story others wanted to tell. And now, with everything hanging in the balance, only one question remained. Would the missing footage surface before the trial began? And if it did, who would pay the price? 'Cause as the final scene in this chaotic drama prepared to unfold, fans, family, and the industry were all watching and waiting. And now, with the court date locked, the evidence shaken, and the streets divided, the world watches as Lil Durk faces the most defining moment of his life and career. This isn't just a legal battle anymore. It's a war over loyalty, truth, and reputation. What began as a single leaked video spiraled into something much deeper. Betrayal from within, manipulation from outside forces, and silence that spoke louder than words. Through all of it, Durk's refusal to fold has turned this case into more than just headlines. His family stands by him. His fans ride harder than ever. And even in a system that often breaks the loudest voices, he's still standing. But as we've seen, every time the truth gets close to the surface, someone tries to bury it again. From paid witnesses to deleted footage to twisted narratives, the real story is still unraveling. And when that final verdict comes in, it won't just affect Durk. It'll send a message through the entire culture. So now we turn it over to you. Do you believe the leaks were a setup? Was Durk framed by enemies inside and out? Or is there still more to the story we haven't seen yet? Drop your thoughts in the comments right now. We want to hear your take. Whose side are you on? Why? If this story had you locked in from the first word, go ahead and hit that like button. Subscribe if you live for drama this real, this raw, and this messy. And don't forget to turn on notifications because trust us, this saga is far from over. Until next time, stay woke, stay watching, and stay ready. Because in this world, no secret stays buried forever.